Here is my beautiful son. Isn't he gorgeous? And I know I look incredibly smart and like I have a PhD and an MD and a couple other degrees. I don't. I have a couple degrees, but not one. So my disclaimer is I am a mom. I am not a doctor, but I am incredible and I'm fabulous. If I'm really good and you like this talk, I dedicate it to my beloved Bernie, Dr. Bernard Rimland, who, give me a second. Without him, there would not be a recovered Baxter. And I owe it all to him, and he passed the day before Thanksgiving in 2006. And if for any reason I'm really not good and I'm not impactful, then I don't dedicate it to him because I only want to do well by him. So why am I here? Why am I here? We're done. I'm just never cease to be amazed by people that I encounter that don't know and fully believe that you can't recover or improve from autism. And I'm a special education teacher, and that was my training. There is no recovery. There is no recovery. Wrong. And I'm here to spread the word. I am here to change that belief, and I am here to instill hope in each and every one of you parents, educators. This is not a foregone conclusion, and I'm not trying to change anybody that's happy, but my child personally was miserable, and it was very important to me to alter that misery. So that is why I'm here. Baxter was born very neurotypically. He was a C-section baby, but his APGARs were fine. Isn't he cute? You're going to see like 8,000 pictures of how cute my kid is. Baxter actually is a family name, and actually both names are family names. One is my mother's name, and his middle name is his last name. Both mothers' last names. Baxter is a regressive case. He developed typically for about a year. You can see right here some really intense present eye contact at 1 month. I love this picture. And yeah, I like his pants. I like his horizontal stripes, emphasizing the gut issue there. But he was very present, completely put together for about a year of his life. His father is a musician. He was very, very present to the music. His milestones were not early, per se, but they were within normal boundaries. And you can see those there. He had, the most significant for me was language. He had, getting some feedback? Oh, it's a phone. He had more words at a year than he did at 3 years of age, so. I'm sorry, did I mention my kid's really cute? Because I told you. Here's one of the first pictures I have of now, in retrospect, seeing a bit of a problem. The red cheeks, the red ears is indicative of some bacterial and fungal overgrowth and some allergy issues that I didn't know at the time. But he is cute. And this is what happened at 12 months of age. And he's just gone. You can see that he's gone. Those are his adorable cousins, a year or two older. And that picture fills me with complete panic. He started drooling incessantly. Couldn't control. I took a couple shirts everywhere because his entire shirt was saturated because he didn't have the muscle control. Constantly anxious, totally anxiety-ridden. The picture with Santa Claus, the sideway glance, like he couldn't even look, the eye contact is gone. He was very anxious. Brand new baby brother. It was a piece of cake when I had my second child because, everybody talked about sibling rivalry. Well, I had no problem because my child didn't even notice that I'd had another baby in the house. Sorry for the Y there, I don't know what happened. Sound sensitive. Yeah, totally. Any noise all of a sudden became a big problem. And he was very stressed, always. Couldn't brush his hair with a baby hairbrush. I cut all tags out of his clothes. He was very tactile defensive. Couldn't swing on a swing, vestibular uncertainty. He had a really hard time. It looks like he's having fun on my shoulders there. He's not. I think my esophagus is probably permanently bruised from the death grip that he had on there. And this all happened, as I mentioned previously, at the 1-year well visit, and he had a quadruple live viral load of vaccinations. I do believe that Baxter's autism was mostly due to vaccinations, toxic levels, and from a variety of sources, but he did develop typically, and then all of a sudden lost language. He couldn't transition. It took us forever to get him in and out of the car. All of a sudden, my life just became very hard, very hard. He was not good at eye contact. He ate tons and tons and tons of food. Pasta, 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 bagel, 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 cream cheese, pizza, pizza. And he drooled a lot, as I mentioned, and this is at this point that the diarrhea sets in, and that was out of control. This is the first thing that I addressed. So I'm now noticing that the speech is gone, we have developmental delays, and the diarrhea is crazy, crazy out of control. So that's the most obvious place to go. And the best pediatric specialist, and I use best in quotes, told me, I just can't help you. I can't help you. And that was completely unacceptable to me. How can stooling 35 times a day, because I counted, bright yellow liquid running down his legs, how can that be? How can you not help that? My child was in pain, my child was hurting, my child was ill. So I'm adopted. So after that lovely visit, I was like, well, you know, what do I not know about myself? Maybe there's something else I don't know that's part of his component. So I suspected Fragile X, which is the most common form of mental retardation, and we did have him tested genetically, and it did not end up being the case, but I did go down that route as well. So now what? You know, he's 7.5 now, and this was 5 years ago or so, and there was no answer. There were no information. Nobody could help me. I had dial-up internet at the time. I can remember sitting there at 12 a.m. Oh my God, wait, can you bring up speech delay a little faster than that? But so lots of doctors that couldn't help me, and lots of money chasing what I was trying to find. Here he is having a lovely gluten and casein-free, I mean not free, big old pasta bomb there with cheese and butter, and you can see the marks on his face, his vestibular uncertainty. He fell quite often back then. So given that problem and that addiction, one of the first things I did find was the diet. And for Baxter, profound. The child had no language, and 2 weeks later started talking. And it was 2 weeks of complete and utter hell, and I hated every minute of it, and I cried all the time, because he was, if you think about it, he was addicted to these products, and they made him kind of gaga and kind of nutty. And when I pulled them, and I pulled them dramatically all at once, I didn't withdraw them slowly, like a drug. If you think about heroin or you think about crack, or, you know, they do that gently, and there's a reason that that's done. I didn't know that. I didn't know what I was doing. I pulled it all very dramatically, and he went into severe withdrawal, and he basically went nuts. But so I pulled all wheat, I pulled all dairy, I pulled all soy, because it's very, a molecular structure is very similar of the protein of all three. And it was, like I said, it was awful, but at the 2-week mark, my child started talking. At 2 weeks, I got mama. I got mama at 2 weeks. So that was worth all the pain. And the other thing I did that I would highly recommend, if you haven't started this diet yet or you're considering it, keep a journal. Buy a just a notebook. Here's what he ate, here's what behavior I saw, here's what supplements I did, because you aren't going to know. You aren't going to remember what you did, what behavior you saw. You aren't going to remember. So I actually just by default kept a journal, and I would highly recommend that. And don't go cold turkey, as I said.